Screen visible? Okay. Framework. Spring framework. Uh, I think we have done core Java, but mostly if we will develop any project, so we will use Spring. So currently, all companies, mostly which company prefer Java, they use Spring framework. Okay, so that is a most important topic. You will work in the on this framework. Okay, so there is a, you can say, very new scenario with very new topics in Spring. Okay, so first word is Spring. What is Spring? Sorry, what is framework? I think we have already done collection framework. So I think you know about that. What is framework? So anybody else? Spring framework? Sorry, only framework. Yeah, set of APIs, and APIs are set of classes and interfaces, and we can call semi-build application also. Okay. The second word is Spring. What is Spring? Are you know about Spring? I think each and every person similar with Spring word. Actually, here this is not a spring like your sofa set is spring. Actually, this is a season. So, spring is not a logical word. That is only a season word. Spring. So actually, the first name of your spring framework is Interface 21, but after some time, it changed as a spring framework. Okay. So now we are going to try to learn Spring Framework. What is Spring Framework, and why uh, the name of interface changed as a Spring Framework? So actually, we use Spring Framework at the place of EJB. Okay. Okay. So EJB is like as a winter season. I think you know that mostly languages and software belong to US, and in US winter season is not so good. Okay, uh, there is minus 20, minus 30 degree temperature, so winter season is not a good. So EJB is like as a winter season, but spring is uh, like a very you can say spring, like a spring season. And interface 21 is like as a spring season, because in US spring season is very nice compared to winter season. Okay, so the name change of interface 21 as a spring framework. So what are the difference between Spring, EJB and Spring? So currently we are using Spring at the place of EJB. EJB means Enterprise Java Build. That is the full form of EJB, Enterprise Java Build. We are using Spring at the place of EJB. Okay. So first of all, what is the difference between EJB and Spring? First, EJB is a heavyweight. Spring is a lightweight. What is the meaning of this heavyweight and lightweight? Anyone? What is the meaning of heavyweight and lightweight? Actually, I think you have remember that lightweight means thread. In Java, each and everything work on the basis of thread, because thread does not consume any space in the memory, and it have not any port number or process ID. Okay, but heavyweight is like as a, it is a process. So we can say EJB work on the basis of process, but Spring work on lightweight, means thread based work. So Spring is also thread weight, a lightweight framework. Okay, second thing. So Spring is a lightweight, so it is faster than EJB. Second thing, application software, application server, jar files. Suppose we want to use application, we want to execute EJB application. So without applications server, it is not possible. Okay, but suppose we want to use Spring framework. So Spring is not a part of Java. Actually, that is a Spring is a third party's application. Rod Johnson developed Spring, and Rod Johnson in 2003 load a Spring framework on internet as a open source. So we can, if we want to use Spring framework, it's very easy. Only download all jar files from the internet, and you can use this. Like suppose we want to use Oracle. Oracle database is not a part of Java. So if we want to connect with Oracle, so we have a need of jar file OJ. If we are using Oracle 11G, so we will import OJDBC 6. Okay, so if we want to use any application that is not a part of Java, so we can download the jar file of that application, that API, and we can use in Java. Same as Spring. Spring is not a part of Java. They are developed by Rod Johnson. If you want to use, you can download directly from the internet, and you can use this. So if you have a jar file of Spring, we can use Spring framework, no problem. But if you want to execute EJB, so you must have application server. What is the meaning of application server? What is this application server? So I think you are using the internet. So I think you know about server and client. What is server? Any idea? Server, service provider. If you want to use internet, so first of all you connect with internet server. Okay, so server is a service provider, and client, service consumer. Okay, so suppose you can see here, suppose we want to use internet, we want to access any website from the internet. Suppose this is a internet server. And we are client, means suppose we want to access any website from the internet. So first of all we will connect with the internet server through the Wi-Fi, through the broadband, anyway. we have multiple option. We can connect with the internet server, then we can access the all services that already provided by your internet server. Okay, so a client is a service consumer, and server is a service provider. So if we want to use any service of internet, so we will connect, first of all we will connect with internet server. After that we can access all facility of internet. Okay, so the server is service provider and client is a service consumer. Okay, but it is a very simple definition of a any other person, but we are developer, we cannot say this. Okay, a server is a service provider and client is a service consumer. We are developer, we cannot say this. Okay, so actually suppose we have a software. I think you know about that. If we want to access any any website, we have need a browser. Like here you can see this. I am using Chrome, Internet Explorer, Firefox. You can use any web browser. To the web browser, we can send the request to internet server. Okay, and servers uh, return to response and display on the web browser. Okay, so this Chrome, Internet Explorer. Okay, these are software of client, client software. Okay, so we can say client software like because in your system all works on the basis of software. Suppose we have a Chrome. Okay, same as internet server, yeah, means server software. So we have different types of server software like different we can discuss. So first of all, you can understand this is a server software and this is a client software. So we have all system work on the basis of software. So if we will install this system software, sorry, this server software in this machine, so this machine will work as a server. If we will install this server software in this machine, so this machine will work as a server. Same as if we installed client software in this machine, so this machine will work as a client software, client as a client. If we will install client software in this machine, so this machine will work as a client, Okay, so actually in software all work on the basis of different types of softwares. Okay, so which system install server, that will work as a server. That system install client software, that system work as a client. Okay, understood. So here all work on the basis of different types of software. Okay, so like in client software we have Chrome, we have Internet Explorer, Firefox. Same as we have different types of server software. So we have two types of server software. First is web web server, and second is a application server. Okay, so your EJB will execute on application server. If we want to execute on web server, it is not possible. Okay, so if we want to uh, execute any application of EJB, so we have must have application server. Without application server, we cannot execute EJB. That is the dependency of EJB on application software. Okay, first question arises, what is the difference between web application and web server and application server? So actually, suppose here you can see this here. We use servers on for if you want to access internet, means if you want to access any website. Okay, so where we will use without server it's not possible. But if you have a core Java, so we can create desktop application, we can create a console application, and we can execute that application without server, no problem. But if we want to develop a website, so without server we cannot execute any website. Okay, so suppose we want to uh, create a website on the basis of Java. So first of all, we are going to try to understand what is websites. Okay, so we can say we can compare with website like is a book library. Okay, so book library is a collection of books. Books are collection of static and dynamic pages. Sorry, page copy page like and book page. Same as all websites, collection of web pages. Okay, so we can uh, the web page are two types: static page and dynamic page. Okay, so if we want to use a static page, yeah, a static website, so only we can use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and we can develop a static pages. But suppose we want to develop a dynamic page, dynamic websites, so without Java, so we can use Java, .NET, PHP, Python for dynamic pages. Okay, so if you want to develop a dynamic page on the basis of Java, so Java provides us Servlet and JSP. On the basis of Servlet and JSP, we can develop dynamic web pages. Okay, so all dynamic web pages execute through the servers. Okay, so the web server have web container. Okay, and web container have servlet and JSP engine. Means through the web server we can execute servlet and JSP. So suppose we want to develop a website on the basis of Java, so we have need a web server or application server. So on the through the web server we can execute servlet and JSP. Without server we cannot execute servlet or JSP, because web server have web container. A web container has servlet JSP engine. So through the web container we can execute servlet and JSP. Same as application server. Application server have web container. So it can through the web server we can execute servlet and JSP. But application server have EJB container also. So we can execute EJB to the application server. So if we have only web server, so we can execute only servlet and JSP. But if we have application server, so we can execute servlet, JSP, and EJB also. Okay, that is the difference between a web application and application server. Web server like Apache Tomcat. Okay, so suppose we are working on Servlet and JSP, so we have need only a web server. If we have web server, we can execute the Servlet and JSP. But if we have application server, so we can also execute uh, Servlet JSP through the application server, because the application server have web container also. So we have any software, any server, we can execute Servlet and JSP. Okay, so in market there are multiple application server like JBoss and Web WebLogic, Web Sphere, Glassfish. Okay, JBoss providers a JBoss commodity. WebLogic providers, Oracle providers, WebLogic. WebSphere, IBM, and Glassfish, Maxon Microsystem providers, Glassfish. Okay, so these are application servers. Okay, so if we want to use this server, we can download directly from the internet, and after that we can use it. But suppose we developed a website and we want to host on the server on the internet, so these server will be paid. Okay, but applications, Apache Tomcat is an open source server. We can download directly from the internet and we can use this. It is also open source at the time of hosting. If you want to host your web service, website, web application on the internet, at that time, Apache Tomcat also open source. So it is very easy. You can download directly from the internet and we can use this. Okay, so we will use these servers at the time of development of websites. Okay, but currently we are going to use Spring Core, so you have not need to serve any server. Okay, so we will use the server at the time of development of websites. Okay, so AJP works only on the basis of application server, but if we have only jar file of say Spring, we can execute any application of Spring framework. Okay, last and the most important characteristics of AJB and Spring, like AJB is a type. The main difference of EJB and Spring. EJB is a tight couple and Spring is a loose couple. What is the meaning of this? So actually, suppose we are going to understand this difference through an example. Suppose we have a class birthday. Okay, public var- Okay, suppose this is a class, and this class have a method wish, and suppose we want to call this method. Okay, so we can create another class like this, and here public static void main string args. Okay. Okay, sorry. Suppose, so we want to call this method. So first of all, we will create object of birthday class. Okay, it's okay. I think it's correct. No problem. But here you can see here, if we want to call this method, first of all we will create the object of this class. After that, we can call this method. Means this class is fully depend on this class. It will execute after the execution of this class. That is a tiled couple. Okay, this is a dependency. If we want to call this, so we will create the object of this class. After that, we can execute this. So when we will execute this, then it will execute. Okay, without this, we cannot execute this class. So this class is fully dependent on this class. Okay, so that is an example of type couple. But Spring is a loosely coupled. What is the meaning of this? Actually, according to Spring, when a user create a object like this, user create a dependency. Okay, so actually in Spring we have not need to write this instruction, this is statement. Spring provides us object of any class. Suppose we want to call this method, so we have need object of this class. So Spring uh, provide us object of this class. We have not need to create a class and write this instruction. Birthday element is equal to new birthday. So in Spring, we have not need to create a object of any class. Spring provides us the object of all classes. That is a loosely coupled. We have not need to write this sentence in Spring. If you want to object of any class, we can get from the Spring framework. Spring framework provides us the object of any class. We have not need to write like this sentence. Okay, so how it is possible in Spring? So actually, Spring work on the basis of two design pattern, IOC and DI. IOC, inversion of control. Second, DI, dependency injection. Okay, IOC and DI both are design pattern. What is the use of these design pattern? What is the use of this? So first design pattern, inversion of control. Inversion means revert, revert of control. What is the meaning of this? Actually, Spring remove your control through the IOC. You can say your right, your control remove from your user. Like user create the object of any class, but in IOC, Spring create the object of any class and provide us. We have not need to write. We have not create the object of any class. So our this right remove through the Spring framework. So IOC is remove the right, remove the control of user, revert of the control from the user. Okay, that is the IOC. IOC create the object of your class, assemble and configure that object of your class. Okay, and DI, suppose you want to insert the value of object. Okay, we have not need to insert the values in the object. DI perform that. DI remove the dependency of your programming code and insert the values in the object. So we can say insert the dependency in the object. So what is the dependency? Like it uses setter and constructor. So DI to the setter constructor, it insert the value, inject the values in the object. We have not need to insert the, we have not need to create an object. We have not need to insert the values in the object. We have not need to perform any inheritance. We have not need to perform aggregation. All controls of a user performed through the Spring. Spring revert the all controls of a user. User perform, Spring perform all operation, right? Create the object and insert the values in the object, perform inheritance, perform aggregation, perform any types of operation of like core Java through the Spring framework. Okay, understood? Hello. So actually Spring work on the basis of inversion of control, means IOC and DI. You can say IOC and DI is a Spring. So uh, total totally work in your Spring on the basis of IOC and DI. Okay. So now we are going to create an example of Spring. Okay. But Spring framework is used for huge website, means big application. Mostly Spring are used for a big application. So for this purpose, we have a some project build tools like maven, like Gradle, and okay. So I told you, if you want to use Spring, so we can download from the jar file from the internet. But how do you sure your jar file are correct? Because suppose you want to install, you want to download a movie from the internet. So web browser display multiple websites for a for movie downloading. But correct, how to search a correct website that will download your movie from the internet? Okay, because I don't know about this. How downloaded movie from the internet? Okay, so that is a problem. So we can solve this problem through the maven or Gradle or Ant, because maven, Gradle and Ant are project build tool. So if you are using project build tool like maven, Gradle, Ant, so we have not need to download any jar file from the internet. Maven, Gradle or Ant, it will download your required jar file from the internet, and your whole application execute through a single button. Your huge application, your big application execute through a single button in project build. Okay, but in your I think you know about core Java. In core Java we have only a single file, a main file. We can execute through the main file. But in website we have multiple different types of file like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. XML file, and glass file. So we have different types of file in a website. Okay, so in a project build tool, we can execute whole application only through a single button. That is the facility of a project build. Okay, so how a project build tool download the required jar file from the internet. So actually, we we use dependency, okay, at the place of jar files. Okay, suppose we want to use Hibernate or Spring, so we can add only a dependency of Spring in maven. If we want to use Hibernate, so we can add only a dependency of Hibernate. If we want to use Oracle database, we can add only a dependency of Oracle. After that, maven automatically download all required jar file from the internet. We have not need to add any jar file. Okay, that is the benefit of maven. So we can use maven, gradle, and but mostly in Java we use maven. Android developer use gradle, and and some developers use ant, but mostly Java uh, developers use maven. Okay, but some like IntelliJ who are using IntelliJ, we are that person, that developer use Gradle, but mostly companies prefer Maven. Okay, so now we are going to create a simple application of Spring Framework with Maven. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to open STS. Okay, so actually, maven totally work on the basis of internet. So please check your internet that's working properly or not. Okay, otherwise it will uh, show error. So suppose you are going to create a Spring Core application with maven. So please click on, one minute, click on File, click on New, then click on Maven. Here you can see this Maven project. Please click on this option. Then it will show this button. Use default workspace location. You can use default, no problem. Click on Next. Here, here category. Please select internal. Okay, then it will show multiple options like this. Okay, so here you can select Maven archetype quick start. Please click on this option, because if we will create a Spring Core application, then we will use quick start. If we want to develop a web application, then we will use web app. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to create a Spring Core application. So I'm going to select quick start, click on quick start, then click on next. After that, here group ID like is a package name. You can specify a package name, and here artifact ID means like your project name, like Spring Pro 1. Okay, then click on finish. Okay, it's very simple. Here you can see this. It will take some time. Okay, click on new, then click on Maven project, then click on next, then here select internal, and here use quick start. Select this and click on next, then specify group ID and artifact ID, and then click on finish button. Okay, then Spring Pro 1. Where is Spring Pro 1? Here you can see this is Spring Pro 1. Okay, so 99%, yes. Building 55%, 56, 100%. Okay, now you can see it. This is the architecture of your Spring framework, Spring core application. First is SRC main Java. Okay, that is a source package name. SRC test Java. Here we can also write the coding of testing. Okay, and the JRE lab system libraries, Maven dependencies. Here you can see this Maven dependencies, and this is a JRE system libraries files. Okay, and SRC target, and pom dot, that is a very important file, pom.xml. Please open your pom.xml file. Okay, this is a pom.xml file. So group ID is com.cts, artifact ID is Spring Pro 1. This is the version, packaging, jar file. Okay, name is Spring Pro 1, maven.apache. This is a we are using maven. Okay, properties. After that, here you can see the dependencies. So here there is a tag dependency. We will add the all dependencies of different application in within this tag. Okay, Spring Framework provides us a default dependency. Name is JUnit, means we can perform testing also in a Spring Framework. So through the JUnit also is a framework. Through this framework, we can perform testing of your application. Okay, so this dependency already added in dependencies tag. Okay, so if we want to use Spring Framework, so we have need the dependency of Spring Framework. Okay, so for this purpose, please open your browser. Okay, and right here, Maven repository. Okay, this is a maven repository. Click on it. Maven repository. It will show a link, maven repository, search, browse, explore. Please click on this link. Then it will show this window, this sub page. Here you can type Spring Web MVC. Okay, because Spring Web MVC added provide you different types of dependency. We have not need to add multiple dependency. We can use only single web application, and we can perform mostly facility of Spring framework. Okay, so Spring Web uh, Web MVC. Click on search button, then it will show Spring Web MVC. Okay, please click on this link. So it will show the different version of your Spring. Okay, here you can see this. Okay, so you can use any version as you need, as you like. Suppose we are going to use, mostly I'm using 5.3.3. You can use any version. It uses 441. Okay, so click on 5.3.3. This is a version of your Spring framework. Click on it. Okay, then you can see here, this is a dependency. Okay, so please select this. If you click on this, it will automatically copy it. You can see here, copy it to clipboard. We have not need to press Control C. Only click on this dependency, it will copy. Okay, after that, open your application like pom.xml and paste here. Control V. You can see here. ORG Spring Framework, Spring Web MVC 5.3.3, and save this file. Okay, then it will automatically download the required jar file from the internet. Okay, after that, now we can create a web application, sorry, core application in Spring Framework. So suppose here this is your SRC main, this is a package name, and this is app.java. It contains app.java. App.java is a main class. Please open this file. Okay, this is the main file. Main class Spring Framework example. Okay. Okay, this is the main class. So this main class we can execute uh, application, Spring application. Okay. Suppose, so this is the main class. Now I'm going to create a class. Suppose we have a class. Name is birthday. Same. This, we want to execute this example. Okay. Suppose we have a class name is birthday. Okay. And this class have a method name is public void fish. Okay. Now we want to call this method. So we have need of object of this class. Okay. But we have not need to create like this new. We cannot write this. Okay, in Spring. So how to get the object of this class? Okay. So for this purpose, we will create a XML file in src main java. Okay, so please right click on src main java. Okay, click on new, then click on other. Okay, here we are going to create a file of XML file. Okay, so please use XML. This XML file, click on this and next. You can specify any name of this XML file. So now I'm going to write this is name application. Okay, click on next, next, and finish. Okay, this is XML file, but this is a design. Okay, click on this tab. It is a source. Please click on source. Then it will show you this is a XML file. Okay, so what is XML file? First of all, try to understand what is XML file. So what is XML file? I think you know about HTML file. Same as XML file. Extensible markup language. It is same as HTML. You can say it's also work on the basis of tags, different types of tags. Okay, same as HTML. But HTML uses a predefined tag that is already available in HTML. Okay, but in XML, we can create different types of tag as per our requirement. Okay, so all XML have different tags. Okay, we are going to use a Spring. So if suppose we have three XML files, so all three XML files have different tags. If we are using Hibernate, Hibernate XML file have different tags. If we are using Android, Android XML have different tags. So actually, uh, in XML, have not a predefined different types of tags. Actually, in XML, we can create user-defined tags, and we can use this. But first question is arise that how to execute these tags. So actually, all tags execute through the schemas or DTD tag. All schemas has the programming of that tag, or through that schema we can execute the all tags of XML file. So suppose we want to use this XML file, and this XML file we want to get the object of a bean file or class file or Java file. Okay, so for this purpose we have need the schema of this XML file. So we can find this Spring XML configuration schema. Okay, open click on this. So you can see this is a 40-part XML schema based configuration Spring. Click on this link, then it will show different schemas here. You can see this schema based configuration. You can see this delete style and new schema style. You can see this style file. Okay, util schemas constant. So there are different types of schemas for different XML files. Okay, but we have need uh, the schema of a bean file XML file means bean configuration. So here you can see this is the first schema. You can use this schema, or you can see this. You can use this schema or this schema. Here you can see the spring bean XMG. So only copy this beans. Okay, copy this schema and paste here. Okay, and here you can see this bean definition here. Okay, so suppose we have need the object of birthday class, so we will declare the definition of birthday bean file. Okay, so for this purpose, beans tag have a sub tag name is bean. Okay, so here the attribute of the bean tag is a id. So use a id must be unique. So here I declare like info. Okay, after that class. Okay, so we can declare the class name. Cursor class name is birthday. So please open your birthday class and select this name. Okay, and click right mouse button and then click on copy qualified name. Click on this option. Okay, and then paste here. Okay, so actually we have need the object of this class, so we can get this object through the id info. Actually, Spring Framework have a Spring container. Okay, like suppose this is a Spring container. Okay, so we have a bean file name is our birthday. So when we will execute this application, Spring create the Spring will create the object of this class and save in this container. Like suppose name is birthday. This is the object of birthday class. Okay. So suppose how to access this object? So through the ID of this class, we can get the object of this class. Okay. When we will execute this application, we have suppose we have 100 bean files. So at the time of creation of object, at the time of execution of this file, this application, Spring IOC create the object of these of the classes and save in the Spring container. Okay. Now suppose we want to get the object of this class, of any class. So we will use only the ID of that class. Info is the ID of birthday class. So if we want to access the object of birthday class, so through the info we can access the object of birthday class. Okay, so now, okay, after that we are going to this is XML file. After that, open your main file. Okay, so actually IOC perform the creation of object of your class. So in Java is the object-oriented programming language. It works only on the basis of class, object, interface like this. So okay, for this purpose, Spring provides us a interface name is application context. This is interface. Application context is a interface. It will work as a IOC. Okay. So application context, we can write here context. Suppose you can write the object of application context. Okay. And the implemented class of the application context name is new class path XML application context. Okay, So class path XML application context is the implemented class of application context. Application context is the interface, but class path application XML class path application context is a class, that is the implemented class of application context. Okay, and we can pass the name of XML file. XML file name is application.xml. Okay, so we can pass the name of XML file in the constructor of class path XML application context. Okay, now we can import this class. Okay, so actually this class fetch the all information of your bin file from application.xml. Okay, because application .xml contain the definition of your bin file. So class path XML application context get the all information about your bin file from application.xml and create the object of this class and store in the Spring container. Okay, so we suppose we want to access that object, so we can access the object of application context. So there is a context, so we can, so this context provides us a method name is getBeans. Okay, here we can declare the id. So id name is info and class name is birthday dot class. Okay, so getBean method return the object of birthday class. Okay, so we can save the object of birthday class in a reference of birthday class. Okay, so after execution of this instruction, we will get the object of birthday class. After that, we can call which method? Because our is a object of birthday class. It's showing error. Aman is the object. What? Oh, sorry, spelling mistake. Okay, dot fish. Okay. After that, we can execute this application. So click right mouse button, run as. Here, click on Java application. Happy birthday to you. Okay, so it is very simple. If you want to create a Spring Core application, first of all, create application to the maven. After that, here I have created a class like birthday, and birthday contain a method, wish method. After that, create a XML file and add the schema of this uh, file. After that, declare the definition of your bin file with class name and id. After that, open your main class and use application context. Okay, we have two application context and bin factory, but application, if you are using application context, we have not need to any other bin factory or any other. Okay, so application context, it is very simple. Use application context space context new class path XML application and declare the name of XML file in the constructor of class path implemented class of application context. After that, getBean provides us the object of bean class, and we can store the in the reference variable of bean class. And after that, we can call the method any method of that class. Okay, understood? Hello, hello. Okay, now I'm going to share this application. Please try to create same application in your system. If you are facing any problem, please let me know. Okay, hello, yes, hello. Bean file. This is called bean file. Actually, any Java class is called bean file. We can also, I think you have remember, we have at the time of creation encapsulation example, setter getter method, we can declare multiple private method and setter getter method. So all bean files have methods and properties, but I'm only create a simple example only to explain uh, how to get the object of any class. But mostly bean file have setter getter and some properties. Okay, that is called bin file. This file is also called pojo file in Spring, plain old Java object. A same file is called uh, persist file in Hibernate. At the time of encapsulation, I have already told you this is the most important file in Java. We cannot imagine any application without this application. We can say encapsulation example, you can say bean file, you can say pojo file, you can say persist file. Okay, so it is same as like I have already created example, sorry, imply file, imply and student. I think you have remember that in JDBC we have create multiple example. Hello. Okay, it's only it contain properties and setter getter method. But I want to only explain you a simple example. So here I have declared only simple method and how to get the object of a bin file. So it's only a simple example. After that, we will use actual bin file that will contain properties and setter getter method and constructor. As you need, as you like, you can declare anything in this bin file. So any class file that is called bin file. Okay. Hello. Okay. Internet. Yes, XML. Suppose you want to schema of this file. Okay. So open your browser. Okay. And type here. Search this X. Type here. Spring XML configuration schema. Please type this. Press enter. Then it will show multiple options. You click on first link. It will show different types of schemas and must be present in your session. Nothing. These are most important topics. Like this is a schema. This is a schema. And this schema contains the program of tags. Suppose this is a bin tag. So how to execute this? So the program of this tag is already stored in your schema. This. Without this schema, we cannot execute this file. Okay. So program of bin tag is already stored, saved in this schema file, XML schema instance. So through this schema, we can execute different tags of this bin file. Okay, that is already declared. So you can copy it from the internet and paste in your XML file, and you can use this. All XML files have different schemas, because all XML file has different tags. Okay, so we will use multiple schemas in Spring and Hibernate. Okay, but in Spring Boot, mostly work on the basis of annotation. So annotation is used at the place of schemas file, XML file. Okay. Hello. Okay. Now I'm going to share this application. Please try to create in your system.